So I went ahead and asked. I thought this was a great time to be a journalist in this hobby, one of the few times. And I was like, well, you kind of have to verify that this is one true and then, see what Kurt thinks about it. So I got on Instagram, looked at a few cute girls, and then was like, what's this dork's name? Oh, yeah, Kurt's Card Care. Okay, I screenshotted him the Tiffany's card thing, and I just said thoughts, question mark. Didn't expect a response. He did hit me back pretty quickly. I'll read his response. It's brief. He says, hey, Ryan, it's nothing new. Cleaning and restoring cards is an important thing to do. I mean, that's in his opinion. Others are not into it. So after they see a card that has been restored and graded, they will likely flood PSA over and over until they get their way. I mean, he was the one that flexed it on Instagram, but again, he deflects and kind of blames other people for this. The cards were graded by the most reputable grading company in the world. And yeah, they now changed their minds. He asked me, what are my thoughts? I asked them how many cards were decertified from the order, because I think it is very interesting that it wasn't just the Jackie Robinson that was decertified. There are other cards. What were those cards? And this is where it degrades. He didn't answer that question. He said, I truly enjoy it. Like a politician. He just doesn't answer the question. He just moves on to what he wants. He deflects. I truly enjoy your show. I think it's funny. And I think that you guys are smart. But when you guys did my episode and took personal shots at me, I thought it was kind of fucked up. If you don't like my company or Card Care, I'm cool with that. But I think you referenced me as a drug user or a sexual predator or something like that. Why would you say that? And I was like, dude, and I said, do you deflect all the time? And I just left it at fuck, because I was just like, dude, what a waste of fucking time. Like, this guy is the face of fraud in the industry. Several of his cards just got decertified by PSA, and he's trying to make this about us. These are valuable cards. These are cards people care about. These are cards people don't want, quite frankly, dripping in the fucking juice like this. A lot of people don't want their cards dripped in juice like this, and then essentially deceived that they got a PSA 2.5 when it was really something with tape on it and got dripped on with Kurt's Card Care juice. So much like some other people we'll see in this industry, Kurt just kind of deflects. It's never his fault. He never takes accountability. Now I'll cut him some slack. This was a rough day for him. This is probably the worst day in the history of Kurt's Card Care. And he's probably still reeling from this blow, because this is something people are going to come back to. Unless PSA said, hey, we made a mistake. Never mind. These cards are fine. And then he can come back and take a victory lap. This is something right here that people can come back a year from now and hit him over the head with. And he's probably going to have to answer to, if he ever goes on another interview like he did with whatever his name, Jeremy Lee. What are your thoughts on Kurt, his response, and the type of debt? What do you think? Is this the worst day in Kurt's Card Care history?
It certainly could be. And I think multiple things can absolutely be true. It could be that Kurt is having a very bad day. It could be that he's not a sexual predator and that he doesn't use drugs, but that I wouldn't want him anywhere near anyone that I care about, let alone my trading cards. But he said, I think the first statement that he says, this guy's on a mission. This guy is on a mission. He's like one of these cult leaders that believes whatever they're doing is he's on a mission. Some people might say as a higher power is guiding me to this. I don't think he's going that far, but he's saying cleaning and restoring cards is an important thing to do. He's convinced himself that it's an important thing to do. I think he's convinced other people out there in the card community that this is an important thing to do. So I think we can even start there. Is cleaning and restoring cards, is that an important thing to do? Because I think if we look at the number of trading cards that have been made and manufactured over the past however many decades, and maybe even over a century that they've been making trading cards, is it actually important to restore and clean trading cards when they've made tens of billions, maybe even hundreds of billions of cards, and they continue to make millions and millions and millions of trading cards every single day and every single week we get a new release? And also in this example, we're talking about a Jackie Robinson, which certainly is an older card from 1953. It's a card that's been around. Maybe you could argue restoring this back to some kind of original condition or putting a little bit of a shine on it. I could see the argument. This is like taking that old Corvette and, it doesn't have the original paint on it anymore. doesn't have the original seatbelts, it doesn't have the original interior, but it's OEM and it's, you know, it's original or whatever. I could see that. But this guy is known for cleaning and restoring cards that are 2 days out of a pack. And so is that important? Is it important I go to my Honda dealership, buy a 2024 Honda Civic, and immediately restore it? Because that is what we are talking about here. This Jackie Robinson, look, the people that buy these cards, they tend to be a little bit older. They're not from the generation that doesn't know what their pronoun is and doesn't understand what their gender is. That was from a generation long before that. If they're buying a PSA 2 Jackie Robinson, they don't want it in the juice. They'd rather have it with the tape on it. If you gave a purist that usually buys Jackie Robinson cards like this the choice, Jackie Robinson soaked in juice or Jackie Robinson with tape on it, they would take the one with the tape on it 9 times out of 9. And maybe you have that one little crazy guy that's doing the same stuff that Kurt is doing, and maybe he'll take it. But 80 to 90% of the quote purist out there, and again, it's not from the generation that is using and sucking on Kurt's Card Care's titty. Again, that generation doesn't know what gender they are and doesn't know what their pronoun. It's a confused generation.
They have to be told. They have to be told.
They have to be told that. Yeah, they do.
They can't just look down and see.
They are fluid. Some days it's one, another day it's another. And that's more than fine. That's a confused generation. And certainly I hope I'm long dead by the time that generation takes things over, because if you think things are fucked up right now, wait till somebody that doesn't know their gender is president of the United States. But the people that buy these cards, these Jackie Robinson cards, they are purist. They don't like this. This is why they buy the card from PSA. We're talking about a lot of times with Kurt, he's taking Victor Wembanyama cards.
John Morant.
This is like doing a boob job on like a 13-year-old. You see what I'm saying? It's not like the Jackie Robinson is like the MILF that's over the hill, has been ran through and is past her prime, and she wants to go get a spray tan and a lift.
A mommy makeover.
Okay. If that's what the guys are into, that, you know, but when we're talking about the Victor Wembanyama cards, the brand new cards out of the thing, we're talking about restoring something that hasn't even come of age yet. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I think the discussion that we've got to have is the reason why PSA is decertifying things like this, and the reason why you are going to see going forward that PSA is going to take a harder and harder stance against this, is this threatens their business. What do I need PSA for, Ryan, if I've got Kurt's Card Care? Why do I need a PSA to tell me it's an 8, 9, or 10 when I can clean it?
Make it whatever I want.
And make it a 10 every single time. If I can make a card a 10 every single time, why do I need PSA?